All right, so welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're heading over to Bangkok
Oh, cool.
with this really fascinating story of a guy named Ananda who is trying to build a sustainable community farm right in the city.
Wow.
And we've got all these different sources that kind of paint a picture of his vision and the struggles that he's had, and then this like really interesting encounter with someone who we're calling like Mr. Grant Money. I know it sounds a little
Yeah.
hokey,
Seems a little mysterious.
but yeah, but he might be the one who can help Ananda make this whole thing a reality.
Well, Ananda's story actually, it really reflects a global trend that we're seeing, and that's urban farming. Especially in cities like Bangkok, people are starting to realize that sustainable living and sourcing food locally is so important.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And from what I've read, his vision is way more than just growing vegetables.
Right.
He wants to create this space where families can learn about sustainability, connect with each other, really get a feel for the whole farm-to-table concept.
And you know what? That's what makes his vision so compelling. If you look at all the urban farms that are popping up and doing really well all over the world, they all have this common thread. It goes beyond just producing food.
Right.
It's really a place for education, community building, and spreading awareness about the environment.
Totally. And it seems like Ananda's really got that, but like so many people with big dreams funding, that's always a challenge.
For sure, it's a huge obstacle, and he's definitely not alone. Traditional lenders are often hesitant to finance anything that's outside of their conventional boxes,
Right.
Especially when it's something as innovative and community-focused as what Ananda wants to do.
Okay, so that's where this Mr. Grant Money comes in. And I got to admit, when I first read about this character, I was pretty skeptical.
Yeah,
I mean, it felt like he was pulled straight out of a movie or something.
it does sound a little bit fictional.
But anyway, according to all our sources, this meeting with Mr. Grant Money, it really pushed Ananda to think differently about funding.
Yeah, that's right. He started seriously considering grants.
Ugh, grants. Okay, I know grants exist, but I've always thought they were this super mysterious world that only certain people could access.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way.
So how did Mr. Grant Money, like, demystify this whole thing for Ananda? Like, what did the sources say?
Well, first of all, he cleared up this big misconception that grants are like rare and hard to get. The truth is there's a huge variety of grants out there, from government programs to private foundations, each one with its own focus, like specific things they're looking for.
Oh, so it's not just one big pot of money that everyone's fighting over.
No, not at all.
Interesting.
Ananda, for example, he might be a really good candidate for something called a Community Food Projects grant.
Was a grant for that?
Yep, it specifically supports urban farms that aim to improve food security and help the community.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea those kinds of grants existed.
See, so Ananda's farm, it would actually tick a lot of the boxes for eligibility.
Makes sense. So it sounds like it's super important to do your research and find grants that really align with your project.
Exactly.
But it can't just be about meeting the criteria right. I mean, there must be something more to it.
You're absolutely right. Mr. Grant Money actually emphasized something super crucial:
What's that?
telling a compelling story.
Ah, storytelling.
Yeah, that was a big part of his advice.
So what was he getting at with this whole storytelling angle?
He said that a good grant proposal, it can't just be facts and figures. It has to connect with the people reading it emotionally, make them really invested in seeing the project succeed.
So it's about getting them to feel something, not just think something.
Exactly, you've got it.
I'm starting to see why Mr. Grant Money had such a big impact on Ananda. It's like he wasn't just saying, hey, go apply for grants. He was really teaching him how to navigate that world.
That's right.
And it sounds like understanding what funders are looking for is a key part of that.
Definitely. They want to know that your project is well planned, but also that it's going to have a real measurable impact on the community.
Right.
So in Ananda's case, he needs to show how his farm is going to address those needs.
Like what?
Like access to fresh, healthy food, or educational opportunities for the community, or even just creating a sense of belonging, that kind of thing.
I see. So it's not enough for him to just say, hey, my farm's good for the community. He actually has to prove it.
Exactly.
And that's where the storytelling comes
Yeah,
in.
exactly. He can't just tell, he has to show them.
So paint a picture with real stories and examples.
That's exactly it. And that's where things get even more interesting, because Mr. Grant Money had some very specific advice on how to do this.
Like what?
Especially when it comes to building a digital presence.
Oh, right. I remember reading about a website and social media being important.
It is. Yeah, it really is. And it's fascinating how Mr. Grant Money connected building this digital presence to actually getting the money. He basically said that nowadays A website and active social media, it's like having a storefront.
Ooh, a digital storefront. That's a really good way to put it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's how you show off your vision, build a community, and basically prove to potential funders that you're the real deal.
And especially for something like Ananda's farm, where connecting with the community is so important.
Exactly. The website can be like the central hub where he shares everything about the farm, the mission, the impact it's having, stories from the people involved.
Right.
Imagine pictures of families learning how to compost or testimonials from volunteers.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Maybe even recipes that use ingredients straight from the farm.
Oh, that's cool. I
Yeah.
love that idea. So it's like bringing the project to life, making it real for people who might want to support it.
Exactly. And then you've got social media, which takes it even further.
Right.
That's where you build a real community around the farm, get people engaged in what's happening day to day.
You can do so much with that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Platforms like Instagram and Facebook, they're perfect for those behind-the-scenes glimpses,
Yeah.
like planting the seeds, harvesting the veggies, hosting workshops,
Right.
or even just showing how beautiful the farm is.
Right.
It's all about making people feel connected, invested, excited to be part of something meaningful.
And I like how Mr. Grant Money was really clear that it's not about like being flashy or trying to go viral.
Right.
It's about using these platforms in an authentic way to tell the farm's story and show the real impact it's having.
He was spot on. It's about strategy, using these tools to amplify your message and build your case for funding.
It makes me wonder how many people just don't realize how powerful a digital presence can be. It's not just for like marketing or selling a product.
Yeah.
It's about building trust, sharing your passion, really connecting with people.
And that connection, that's key when you're trying to make a dream. Like Ananda's a reality. It's about creating a movement, inspiring people to get behind your vision.
It's interesting how so much of Mr. Grant Money's advice goes beyond the technical stuff about grants.
Yeah,
It's like he gets the human side of it.
he
The
does.
storytelling, the community, the connections.
It's almost like he's saying, don't worry about the money, focus on the why.
That's exactly it. He understands that passion and purpose, they're what drive any project forward.
Especially one that's all about the community.
Totally. And this is making me think about something you said earlier about, what dream do you have that could benefit your community?
Right.
We've spent all this time on Ananda's story, but now I kind of want to turn the spotlight on our listeners.
Yeah, let's do it. We've talked about storytelling, connecting with your community, and using those digital tools. Those are valuable for anyone who wants to make a real difference.
They are.
And who knows, maybe your dream, just like Ananda's, could inspire others and help create a world that's more sustainable and connected.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Ananda's journey, let's hold on to that sense of possibility.
Yes.
Let's take those nuggets of wisdom from Mr. Grant Money and use them in our own lives, our communities, to make our own dreams happen.
Exactly.
Remember, every journey starts with a single step. What's your first step going to be?
Maybe it's looking into those grant opportunities that fit with your vision, or maybe it's just writing down your dream, getting it all out on paper. Whatever it looks like for you, we hope Ananda's story has shown you that there's support out there. You might not have a Mr. Grant Money poof appearing in your life. Right. But there are so many organizations, networks, online communities that are ready to help you along the way.
Absolutely. And don't underestimate the power of one single idea.
No.
Ananda's dream, it started as just a seed.
Right.
But with the right support, it can grow into something truly incredible.
It really can.
And your dream can too.
Yeah.
So let's take inspiration from Ananda's journey, from Mr. Grant Money's wisdom, and most importantly, from the power we all have within us to make a positive change.
I agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
It really can.
And your dream can too. So let's take inspiration from Ananda's journey, from Mr. Grant Money, and most importantly, from that power we all have to make a difference.
I totally agree.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We'll catch you next time.